Hi, I'm Amy, and today I just want to give you a little encouragement with practicing and give you a few ideas, maybe if you're feeling like you're in a rut or you need some new ideas for coming back to the piano every day. The most important thing I can tell you is the more you play the piano, the better you get. It doesn't matter if it's a good day or a bad day. The more time you spend there, the better. With me, I've done this my whole life, but I've started a few new hobbies now that I'm older, like running or baking. And some days I don't feel like doing it, but I give myself that extra push to say, just do a few minutes and you'll see that improvement as time goes on. So I would encourage you to keep at it. And I'm going to give you a few ideas. You might only have a few minutes to sit down at the piano. Try to do it. Try to play something that's 2 minutes long just to get those, that connection with the instrument every day. Try not to miss days because, then it's harder to get back to it. If you do have more time to sit down with, a practice session for a half hour or an hour, something I encourage my students to do is to plan their time in a diamond shape. And what I mean by that is the top part of the diamond is where you start. It's the smallest amount of time. Top and bottom are the small parts. Just a few minutes, play something that you don't have to think about. Play scales that are really easy. Play Hanon. Play a piece that you already know. Something to just get you sitting down and playing. That's that top pointy part of the diamond. Next, as the diamond shape gets bigger, spend a few more minutes on something that you might be problem solving or practicing. Maybe a piece that you're working on and you want to spend 5-8 minutes. In the biggest part of the diamond, that's where you're going to spend the most focused practice. Maybe you're taking one thing and doing it 50 times. I don't know what you're up for, but spend 10 solid minutes dealing with something. Pedal, voicing, a scale that you're working on. Any topic can fit there, but that's where you're going to go over and over the same thing and not let any distractions get in your way. Then you're past that big part of the diamond, you're coming back down the other side. Find something that's shorter, maybe 5 minutes. You want to play through a piece a few times. Maybe you're memorizing. Maybe you're preparing, to share a piece with someone and you want to get that ready. So, a little bit less focused, but more of a run through. Let's think of it that way. And then the last part of the diamond at the bottom is quick, easy, fun. Make something up if you like to, or run back through a couple of those scales as fast as you can, or something that's just a little more mindless. So I usually try to fit about 5 points into that shape of a diamond, starting and ending with something quick and fun and easy, putting the biggest work in the middle. And I think that's a great thing to use because it gets you to the piano without much of a fight. And then at the end, it leaves you with something positive so that you're more likely to return to that. A positive, motivating feeling is a good brain thing to keep with piano practice. You don't want to give yourself a big negative chore to do every time you sit down and you keep going through the same struggle every day. You're not going to come back to that. You want to make piano time more about self-care, more about stress relief, more about focusing on something that's different from your everyday problems. And that's where I find, the same thing when I'm practicing baking in the kitchen. I find that same feeling where I can push everything else to the side and put my focus on one specific thing. So I hope that helps you to get some fresh ideas for practicing. Good luck.